Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Coach Schmetzer, why don't you go ahead and open it up for opening statements?
Well, just one, well, maybe two. I'll congratulate Caleb and Columbus. That was a very good performance. And then I'll also say that I'm very proud of the season, not the last game of the season, but the season that my squad put together. They worked hard. They fought till the end, but they came up short tonight. But in the long run, in the bigger picture, I think there's certainly a lot of success that follows this franchise, and we hope to continue that.
We're going to go ahead and open up for questions. We're going to start with Matt Pence, followed by Sean. Matt.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering how seriously you had considered mixing up the lineup and kind of what your rationale was for staying with this 11 after the last couple games.
Well, we always assess after each game, Matt, how the team performed, what they did, what we can do better, what worked, all of that. There was some serious deliberation about, certain players, but we decided we could start the game like this and then, take what the game gave us and make changes.
Next question goes to Sean, followed by Nico. Sean.
Coach, yes, you did have a great year. I'm just wondering, the last game may have taken a bit too much out emotionally, physically, and everything, as well as Columbus closing out their stadium at the same time.
Well, maybe the last game was emotional. It was emotional high, and you got to get back up again, but it was a cup final. I almost felt like in that first half, our soccer wasn't great, and it was almost like they were too wound up, too tight. Just couldn't seem to find their rhythm early in the game, and then obviously you go one goal down. Okay, that's okay. But going 2 goals down certainly was a dagger. And that was, something that, you got to give credit to Columbus.
Next question goes to Nico, followed by Matt. Nico.
Thank you. Brian, just wanted to know exactly what did you guys go over at halftime, and how well did you feel like your substitutions worked out on the team, the ones you made at halftime, that is?
It worked out, and the team. Look, the team was going to play better coming out of halftime. There's a lot of times you can make adjustments at halftime, and at 2-0, your opponent usually wants to not play as firm or hard and push and whatever. It's just human nature. The team that's down 2-0 is going to come out with some pride and push and try and get a equalizer, start even just to get one. But obviously Gustav came on and did a good job, and Brad came on and did a good job. But it was basically just trying to, redo what we were trying to do in the first half, which is play between the 4-4-2, play in between lines. And, I just didn't think our attacking movements are very sharp tonight.
Next question goes to Tom, followed by Jada. Tom.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for taking the time. What did you see that the crew did well in kind of limiting Nico's opportunities to get on the ball? He had a significantly fewer touches tonight than he did in his last 2 games.
Yeah, Nico had a strained calf, which prevented him from being his normal self. I think the crew did a good job of, just sitting with their 2 holding midfielders and, denying some space. I don't think in the first half, I thought JP and Christian were too deep. One of them needed to be there to draw one of their midfielders. So I think it was a combination of just, Columbus doing what they did. Jesse Zardes, I got to give it to him. He puts, a lot of pressure on opponents defensively, and just our inability to play how we wanted to play, I think, is what caused Nico not to have as many touches as he should have.
Next question goes to Jada, followed by Jeremiah. Jada.
Thank you. Excuse me. Yeah, Coach, kind of extending on that as far as you guys not being able to play. It seemed like you guys were caught a little bit off guard in the opening half, especially with them pressing as much as they did. Did you kind of see that from y'all?
Yeah, I saw it from the game, Jada. it was what we tried to message them before the game, and then again at halftime. We didn't want to always play backwards, play negative. I thought that was, that was not the way to, beat how they were pressing higher up the field. So, again, whether it was a little bit of our team not playing up to the potential or you're giving Columbus credit, the game just didn't manifest itself the way we wanted.
Next question goes to Jeremiah, followed by Felipe. Jeremiah.
Yeah, Brian, this is obviously your fourth MLS Cup. You haven't scored in 7 of those halves. Is that, how much of a concern is that, and how do you go about solving that kind of problem?
Jeremiah, that you might stump me with that one. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we got a really good attacking team. I'll have to, figure out, how important that real statistic is. I mean, we've got 2 wins out of the 4. So, I don't know I don't know how to answer that.
Next question goes to Felipe, followed by Jada. Felipe.
Hi, Coach. How do you think the players' experience play a part in tonight's game? Talking the Seattle Sounders players.
I'm not following you, Felipe. The experienced players?
The experience that each of the players had in MLS playoffs played in tonight's game, like let's say Nohu, Alex, Shane O'Neill.
Well, we took Nuhu off because we needed more attacking movements. He was on there to prevent Diaz, who had a good game for them. Alex is a young player with a good future. Shane has done a great job for us all year. The whole team was flat. I mean, I thought there were some times early in the first half where we were able to get behind him. Jordan was able to get behind him, and we just couldn't finish any plays. Or Jordan got behind him, and then we tried to score too quickly instead of just keeping the ball in their half of the field and trying to take some of the sting out of the game. So whether it was a young player, a medium player, or an experienced player, I just don't think we played up to our potential.
The next question goes to Jada, followed by Matt, followed by Alonso. Jada.
Thanks. Coach, do you at all second guess or give any kind of thought to the way that the starting lineup that you chose and not putting in, your normal first choice starters, or what you've used?
Those guys were my first choice starters for the last 4 games. A lot of them. I don't second guess myself, Jada. What I do is I try and learn. You always try and learn with things. I mean, it's obviously, I think I said this after the Minnesota game. So after the Minnesota game, you put guys on and you win the game 3-2 in a dramatic fashion. And you're the greatest coach ever. And then you make a lineup choice for this game and you end up losing 3-0 in a cup final. Then everybody's questioning your lineup. That's just part of, that's part of pro sports. But my intention, our staff's intention, is always just to learn. When you stop learning or you think you know it all, then that's when you fall into the trap of not trying to get better. So, after the cup final in 2017, we learned some things. Last year we learned some things. I'll learn some things after this, after we kind of reflect on this season and this playoff run and this final. And then we'll try and push the group forward.
Next question goes to Matt, followed by Alonso, followed by Jeremiah. Matt.
Not a lot of Kelvin throughout these playoffs. I was wondering if he had been dealing with an injury or anything, or if that was just fully a coach's decision.
Well, he had the hamstring injury that was pulled him out of the first game, and then I decided to go with the group that had been winning some games.
And we're on our final 2 questions with Alonso and Jeremiah. Alonso.
Hi, Coach. Tough loss. You were mentioning that the team was flat and you just lost 3-0. Do you consider this game as a failure or this season?
I absolutely think that this game was a failure. I think this individual game was not a good performance by our club, not up to the standard that we set for ourselves, that I set for myself. It's my job as a coach to make sure that the players are prepared and that they have the tools to be successful. And so this performance was not a good performance from the Seattle Sounders. So, you know, it's certainly not a good way to end your season, but I would circle back to say that the club, the team did come back through some adversity and, you know, made it into another final back-to-back, which is very hard to do in a league like MLS with parity. It's very challenging. So that is one good accomplishment that came out of this year.
And the final question goes to Jeremiah. Jeremiah?
Yeah, not to harp on the lineup choices, but just to be clear on Svensson, was there anything going on there other than it just staying with the lineup that got you here, or was there other thinking that went into that?
I had conversations with Gustav about how he felt, how fit he was, all of that. We had talked about it. He is a competitive guy. He is a good Seattle Sounder. Those conversations are not easy, Jeremiah, but he is a team guy. And when he came on the field, he showed that he was motivated to try and help the team win.
Thank you so much, Coach. This concludes the coach portion of the post-game media availability. Media, please stay on. We'll have more. Thank you for joining the post-game press conference. If you can please kindly give some opening statements, we'll jump into questions.
Yeah, go to questions. Sorry, whatever you guys want to ask.
All right, we'll go ahead and jump into questions. Our first question goes to Jeremiah.
Yeah, Stefan, if you could just start by telling us a little bit what you saw, especially early on. It seemed like even though you guys had a fair amount of possession, that the Crew were really the team that were imposing the game onto you guys.
Yeah, it's one of our worst halves of the season at the worst time for us. You know, I think it took us a long time to find a way into the game. You know, we may had some spells of possession, but they were meaningless, really. You know, we weren't really doing much with it. I think our best couple of spells in the first half were actually long balls, a very direct style there. But other than that, definitely a half to forget. Unfortunately, we already find ourselves down 2-0 at that point. So, you know, I think we came out a little better in the second half. Weren't able to find a goal that could have opened up things, but you know, we weren't the better team today, and deservedly they won.
Our next question goes to Jada, followed by Matt. Jada.
Hi, Steph. Thanks for taking that question. Brian was kind of succinct. He called it a failure. What do you, I know it's very early, but how do you kind of maybe sum up this everything from today?
Yeah, certainly not a success. So I'd have to agree with him on that. Again, you know, it's on one side, it's you're not sitting here now saying, oh, we should have won, because we definitely shouldn't have won. On the other side, you know, you wish we would have played up to our potential, or at least somewhat close to it, because it's a massive opportunity to to go back to back, which happens very, very rarely. It happens very rarely that you find yourself in situations to win the big one. So who knows if we'll ever make it back, right? It's a massive squandered opportunity for us, and all credit to them. They played a good game. You know, they were hungry. It's been a messed up year for everybody, every team. You know, if one team thinks that it's been hard, like if we say it's been hard for us, it's been hard for them, it's been hard for everybody. You know, I think you got to earn everything. Nothing's for free. And today it just took us way too long to find our way into the game and earn ourselves a win.
Next question goes to Matt, followed by Nico. Matt.
Hey, Steph, you guys are coming off a big comeback on Monday, and there were a lot of guys talking about how there was just a sense within the group that you were always going to find a way to battle back. I was wondering if it felt different tonight than it did against Minnesota. It just felt like you guys maybe didn't have quite that same spark, even whenever you were behind against Minnesota.
I mean, two completely different games. I think against Minnesota, we were in control the whole game. You know, if you look at this first half, we were never in control. So it's a completely different game, completely different feeling. Deservedly down 2-0, really. Not a good first half. You know, with that being said, still an opportunity to maybe find a goal early on in the second half, and the game may open up. You know. Like I said, unfortunately, we're never able to do that. And then at some point, you know, when you start moving pieces around and you leave yourself exposed in the back because you're pushing up front, the third one's going to come. So, you know, whether it was 2-0 or 3-0, it doesn't really matter in the end. It's just that first half is one to right now forget. But in you know, maybe in the long term, when we look back at it, one to figure out why it happened would be a nice thing.
Next question goes to Nico, followed by Maspita, followed by Jeremiah. Nico?
Thank you. Steph, I'm just curious to see what you saw from your position in terms of the team defensively. It seemed like throughout the playoffs, you guys have done a good job at staying organized, staying compact, staying in shape. And tonight, especially in the first half, that didn't seem to be the case, especially in the round of play. So I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Honestly, I don't know. I wish I had the answer. I thought we were, I don't know, maybe just, again, like I said, I don't think we found a way into the game, and they kind of, you know, overran us almost a little bit. I think they were hungry in the first half. They were opportunistic. You know, with the first goal, for example, you know, it's an early cross. It's asking questions with crosses. It's asking questions with dangerous runs on the back stick. It's just it was a daring first half on there, and it paid off. And we just weren't, for some reason, weren't ready for that. Like I said, I don't have the answer for it. I wish after we dodged a couple of bullets early on, we would have woken up a little bit and would have been able to find our way into the game, but we didn't, and we got punished. And it's difficult, obviously, to climb out of a hole at that point. That was the game.
Our next question goes to Maspita, followed by Jeremiah. Maspita?
Yeah, thanks. Hey, Steph. How long does this do you stay with the loss, and you know, how long do you stay here?
I'm trying to forget about it at some point, but it sucks. It's gonna, you know, again, it's a squandered opportunity. You know, I feel like for some weird reason, I've been myself blessed to have so many opportunities to win these trophies. You know, there's players in the world that are 50 million times better than I am, and they never get these opportunities to win big trophies. And so it sucks because the stars have to align for anybody to find themselves in a position to achieve something big. You know, we've achieved some stuff here and there. It's great, but you also don't forget the ones that went through your fingers. So it's gonna suck. You know, the thing that right now is the saving grace is we didn't deserve it today. Again, you know, if I would sit here and say that, you know, we made one mistake, I made one mistake, and we had a really good game other than that, and we should have won, then it'd be even more frustrating. Right now, I'm just, that's all I can say is we did not deserve to win today, and that's what happened.
Next question goes to Jeremiah, followed by Jada, followed by Matt. Jeremiah?
Yeah, is there anything that you feel like you just need to do in the off season at this point? Is it just, you know, putting this aside, or do you want this to sting, and are you able to use this next year potentially?
Yeah, you always want to, reflect and try to, correct mistakes, whether it is actual situational things that we could have done better, or attitude in games, or whatever. You want to see if there's something that we could pick up and maybe use to be more successful in the future, for sure. What do I need personally? I just need some time with my family. It's been a really draining season, and I'm not just talking about the football, obviously with the pandemic going on, and also other very, very important issues this year for social justice. It's been very draining. And so it's, I just need to recharge the batteries a little bit if possible. And then, stay safe. That's the other thing too. This is, I find it trivial almost, and I'm a bit embarrassed to have to talk about, how disappointed I am in not winning a trophy. There's people that lost their lives this year, and people that are still fighting. So let's not forget about the first responders, the workers, the people that are out there in hospitals helping everybody. Thank you for your work. Everybody please wearing masks, because we're not out of this yet. There's a little light at the end of the tunnel, but that's the other thing, right? You can't just now turn off completely. There's still a pandemic going on, but I just need some time with my family.
Last two questions. Jada, followed by Matt. Jada?
And Steph, to understand just a little bit, does this kind of, because you've been in the finals before and have lost one before too, so does that make it a little bit easier to stomach because of the fact that you believe that you, like you said, you didn't deserve it? Is this one, even though if you sit with it for a little bit, though, you feel like you didn't deserve it, so therefore you might be able to move on a little bit easier?
That's what I'm telling myself right now, right? You're looking for ways to get through this this crappy result, and that's what I'm going to stick with. But no, it's a squandered opportunity, 4 chances and we're 50%. It's great and all, but it's still 2 missed opportunities, like I said, our careers are short, and this season in particular, it seemed like it was going to be a wash. Who knew whether we were going to be able to finish it to begin with, so for us to be able to put together a strong season and find ourselves in a position to find something positive and reward ourselves with something positive, it was an opportunity. I think when all is said and done, we're happy that we won a trophy. We're sad that we didn't win the big one.
And last question goes to Matt. Matt?
Steph, you mentioned wanting to kind of look back and figure out what happened tonight, and Schmetzer said something similar about just taking lessons and making sure that something like this doesn't happen again. And I was thinking back to in 2017 when you guys kind of lost in similar fashion. What did you take from that initial loss that has maybe propelled you guys forward in a way that maybe you guys can do again?
It's too early to really, say what, I think in 17, what we learned was how difficult it was to have a good season, after winning the whole thing. There's a target, everybody says there's a target on your back. I think over the last few years as a Sounder, you get more and more of a target regardless. But 17 maybe taught us how to deal with that a little better. I don't know. You still have to come through at the end. If you make it to the final, it's great and all, but nobody's going to remember the finalist. Only going to remember the champion. So I don't know what we will learn from it. Hopefully something, because you don't want to repeat the same mistakes. I don't know. It's too early to tell you. I'll get back to you when we figure it out.
Thank you for joining the post-game media availability. We appreciate it.